TNA Wrestling crosses the line again as we are just hours away from the Victory Road pay-per-view, which is no doubt going to be an absolute brilliant event that TNA will put on, much like the last load of TNA events to put on. Don't forget to watch Victory Road or to stream it live or on demand. Go to the TNA Plus app, get downloaded, get subscribed, and watch everything TNA. Also, obviously, it is on AXS. Well, Impact is on AXS TV over in the States, as well as DAZN for streaming, and Ayozat TV over here in the UK, and that is changing Sky channel, by the way. So you Sky subscribers, make sure you pick up the channel change so you don't miss out on any action from TNA Impact. Now, on tap for this week's Impact, Maclin will go one-on-one with Hammerstone, who recently challenged over Femby on Tuesday on NXT. That partnership is still flying as we head toward Victory Road and Bound for Glory. Ash by Elegance will go one-on-one with Zaya Brookside, and we will see the debut of new knockout Heather Reckless as she battles Giselle Shaw on Impact this week. And Impact actually starts with Maclin versus Hammerstone in a hard-hitting encounter. As you can imagine, Maclin, Hammerstone, two big guys. Maclin causing mayhem. Hammerstone fresh off his unfortunate loss on NXT this week. They were right off the bat with this as well. It was a tremendous match. They come out really strong. Both guys were giving it as good as they got. Interestingly enough, Maclin's shoulder was taped up during this match. Not sure if it's an actual injury or whether it was a storyline injury, but nevertheless, Tom Hannifan made a good point about that during the commentary of it, making aware that perhaps the shoulder is not at 100%, and it could Hammerstone take full advantage of that during the match, and they certainly did at one point. It was such a great match. Hammerstone with a belly to belly. Hammerstone is just this epitome of kind of what you would want in a wrestler. He's got the look, he's got the strength, he's got the size, he's got the speed, the athleticism, the agility. He has pretty much everything that you would need in a wrestler. Everything you really want in a wrestler, this guy has it all, and it was a great fight, this one. But Maclin actually picked up the win in this match. He escaped out the back door as Hammerstone was looking for his finisher, rolls him up and gets the free count. That started. Hammerstone would then attacking Maclin after the match and put him in the torture rack. Eric Young come out to make the save for Maclin. And then, in a quite surprising turn of events, Jake Something come out. And he and Hammerstone exchange a look while standing side by side and glaring at Young and Maclin in the ring. Now, subsequently, Eric Young, Steve Maclin versus Hammerstone and Jake Something is on the pre-show on tonight's Victory Road match. That has been signed. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Also on tap on the pre-show on the road to Victory Road, as I like to call it, Kushida against Leon Slater in an X Division showcase match, which could potentially be match of the night on the pre-show, guys. So you better make sure you don't only watch Victory Road on the TNA Plus app, make sure you get that pre-show in as well. Now, backstage on Impact, it was then coming to the system. The reboot of the system will continue. They've been on a crest of a wave at the moment. Remember last week, JDC managed to keep his spot in the system with a victory. This week, of course, it is the Hardy Boys they're going against. Looking forward to seeing that. Moose confirms that JDC is indeed in the system, and also that you can always trust the system now as well. So we'll see. Is that going to be, something that's going to be a right or wrong, though? We'll wait and see. Now, here we go. The debut, the much anticipated debut of Pocket Rocket, I'm going to call her Heather Reckless, with Giselle Shaw. And actually, this turns out to be Giselle Shaw's final match for TNA. A lot of people will have known that Giselle Shaw requested her release and was granted her release. So this is kind of her swan song. I tell you what, though, what a signing Heather Reckless looks. I mean, I didn't know too much about her. I'd heard bits, but not crazily amounts. And wow, I mean, there was a great, I think she counted something into a Canadian destroyer in this match, which was absolutely incredible. Doesn't stop Ash by Elegance coming down and having a look. She's got a match with Zaya Brookside later, but nevertheless, she was coming down to take a look at Heather Reckless, and doing that Canadian destroyer will be nothing short of impressive, and may have even impressed Ash by Elegance. Who knows? And Giselle Shaw hit a spine buster during this match that even Arn Anderson would have had to given a nod to. It was a brilliant spine buster. She does also hit the shotgun oar for the 2 count on this. And at this point, George the Iceman hops onto the apron to distract the referee. Ash by Elegance then gets up and attacks Giselle Shaw on the top rope. And Reckless runs up and hits what we call the Rect, which is a version of the Spanish Fly for victory. And that, nevertheless, I don't know if she needed the help, but it was an impressive debut from Heather Reckless. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for her and her dissension up those knockout ranks, because she may not have the side, but she has the ability to cause big problems in a knockouts division, and is already looking like a massive signing. Obviously, Xia Li to come in as well on top of that. The knockouts division is getting hotter, and also with the NXT stuff going on in the background, there is what a great time right now to be watching TNA wrestling, with everything that's going on, with the quality they're putting on week in, week out. The pay-per-views have been brilliant. Guys, it is really time to get on that TNA Plus app if you haven't already. Anyway, coming back, we got the Xia Li vignette, actually. And then out comes Matt Cardona with his property, Steph Delander. And he orders Steph to make her hold the ropes open. And as soon as Steph begins to speak, Matt Cardona picked the microphone. He says, I do the talking around here. He boasts about returning from a life-threatening injury. I'm not quite sure if it was life-threatening, but nevertheless, we can't confirm or deny those reports. We have to believe Mr. Cardona on that. And he thinks actually that Santina Morella has it in for him, to be honest. I'm not quite sure, again, that that's strictly true. Cardona brings up the match with PCO and Rhino, which he had against himself and a partner of his choosing for Victory Road. He does the big build-up for the partner, points to the entranceway, turns around and says it is Steph Delander. So Steph Delander is going to be Matt Cardona's partner for the match against PCO and Rhino. He says if she does the finger poke of doom or turns on him, he's sending her back to Australia, which then brings out PCO. Steph Delander then low blows Cardona, and PCO chokeslams him. And then Delander gives PCO a hug. I'm going to be honest with you on this, and I've said this for a while. I am still not convinced on this with Delander and Cardona. I am not convinced that Delander is with PCO. I think at Victory Road, maybe it might extend to Bound for Glory, but the assumption for me is that Delander will turn on PCO could be as early as tonight. I don't know. But for me, I'm not convinced that Steph Delander is fully with PCO, but she was at TNA this week. She did low blow Cardona to allow the chokeslam. Now, 8 tag team matches go. When you hear the words Bullet Club ABC, you're excited. When you hear the word First Class, you're intrigued. AJ Francis, but also, not only that, KC Navarro, the real exciting new member of First Class. Texas Tornado Style Rules is coming up. Before we do that, there was a quick sit-down interview with one of the best backstage announcers, Gia Miller, and she was talking to Jody Frett and Danny Luna, who, don't forget, massive match tonight at Victory Road against Slamovich and Alicia Edwards, because if they don't win, they have to split up at Victory Road. So all eyes will be on that Knockouts tag team match at Victory Road today. It's a big, high stakes match for those two. We can only wish Danny Luna and Jody Fret well in that. They were talking about it, how important it is, and you know, about splitting up potentially if they lose. So we'll have to see what happens tonight at Victory Road. Certainly a match to keep an eye on. But going back into the Impact Zone for this Tornado tag team match between Bullet Club ABC and the First Class AJ Francis and Casey Bonaro. TNA, if you're watching, and I know some of you do, bring out the bag and sign KC Navarro permanently. He is a talent, an extreme talent. You will have a great, great wrestler there. I've seen him a few times at Progress Wrestling. You will have an X Division competitor. You could have a World Championship competitor there. You'll have a great guy to put in a tag team like you have done with AJ Francis here. But he is an absolute must to sign for the brand. He has got all the tools to be a brilliant, brilliant acquisition for TNA Wrestling. And I would absolutely love it if you managed to sign Casey Navarro. This was a really, really good tag team match, by the way. I really enjoyed it. ABC are just so good. I don't want any team to beat them because I don't quite think any team in TNA are on their level. I mean, the Hardy Boys have that whole experience and they can still do the Hardy stuff that we know and love from the years gone by. But I just think right now ABC are on another level to any tag team in TNA, and they do manage to win this match. They both members, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, both pinned AJ Francis for the victory on this one, and Bullet Club ABC will go on to defend the title to Victory Road. We'll get into that in a minute because we will be doing Victory Road predictions at the end of this show. I'll be looking forward to doing that all week, to be quite honest with you. Waiting to see all the matches. So we've got the matches that have been announced on Impact tonight as well. So we should have the full card to go through at the end of this. Now, after this match and the subsequent commercial, Jonathan Gresham was there was another good promo with Jonathan Gresham talking about the rebirth and shedding the mask persona. I'm still intrigued with Gresham, and I still think there's so much more to come from him. I love the way Gresham works, whether it's promos, whether it's in ring. He has everything Gresham has, and I just want him to start that descent to the top of TNA where we can see him in title matches against the best. Gresham and Hammerstone, you know, Gresham and Maclin again, Gresham and Josh. You know, there's so many people that you could have him in. Gresham and Slater, people, you know, so many great matches we've just reeled off there that Gresham could have, and I really want to see that. And if you're going to NXT, I mean, I'd like to have another one with Charlie Dempsey, with John Gresham. That would be an awesome, awesome encounter if they gave it the time. There's other talents down in NXT that you could look at. There's Axiom for one, that would be another great one for Gresham. So let's see what happens. I'm still really intrigued, but I just want him to put him on that catapult and start that descent for John Gresham. But anyway, after that, it was Joe Hendry, of course. And he was in there with Josh Alexander. And he was in the rafters, and they were talking about the match they're going to have at Victory Road. And he says he's there. He's in the rafters for Joe's protection, and he wants Joe Hendry to make him laugh. He hinting that he wants a video to play. You know how it was that Joe Hendry does. And Hendry says he wouldn't make a video of making fun of Alexander, or would he? He introduces the Josh Alexander story. It's a music video, and Joe Hendry calls Alexander a Jesse Pinkman lookalike who's slowly turning into Walter White. And his big claim is Alexander doesn't ever smile. He calls him Kurt Angle from Wish. I don't know whether he's got a death wish, Joe Hendry, as much as I love him, but to do that to Josh Alexander, I'm not quite sure you're doing the right thing here, Joe. But nevertheless, they go back, and Alexander is definitely not smiling in the rafters at this point. He talks about everyone loving Joe Hendry, though, and he has a couple of videos that went viral. He didn't earn it like Alexander, making towns and fighting his way to the top the right way. But he did say that he would be smiling ear to ear after Victory Road when he beats Joe Hendry. Which is interesting. But Joe Hendry then says Alexander sounds upset because fans aren't chanting "walking weapon." He said he saw a sign later on that said "walking weapon," and of course the crowd went with it. And Alexander just said that Hendry had dug his grave even deeper. Point. Now, Knockouts Championship match at Victory Road is set. Jordan Grace one-on-one with NXT's Wendy Cho. Now, if you saw NXT this week, Jordan Grace had an open challenge. It was answered by Sol Ruka. They was having a great match. Rosemary was in attendance. The lights went off during the muscle buster from Jordan Grace. When it come back on, Rosemary was screaming, laughing. Wendy Cho was there. So, Wendy Cho, one-on-one, Jordan Grace tonight at Victory Road. But they go backstage anyway. And the TNA liaison, Ariana Grace, basically Santino's daughter, was talking about the pillow, and she asked who carries a pillow around other than Cho. And then Ariana says, the Sandman, which is just ridiculous. But Jordan Grace does get a promise that there won't be any funny business during her match at Victory Road. So would there be any Rose? So they're saying that Rosemary will not get involved. They won't have any lights going out during the match, perhaps. I'm not strictly convinced by that, but we'll have to see at Victory Road tonight. Don't forget, TNA Plus app, get it, ready for tonight, ready for Victory Road. We'll go back to Knockouts division action. Ash by Elegance, Xia Brookside. They've had a to-do over the last few months. I think it's 1-1 in the battle between these two. And they had another great contest again. Xia Brookside is just so... what's the word for her? She's got so much potential. She's just starting to show it on TNA. And having Ash, someone there we've got a lot of experience, obviously WWE, TNA, and they put on these great matches, these two. And so I think we're just not even scratching the surface with how good Xia Brookside could be. And we're talking about people that could win Knockouts championships. Xia Brookside is one of those. She could absolutely win the Knockouts championship. You know, she's very, very talented in there. And we haven't, as I said, we've not even scratched the surface how good that she is. Now, earlier on in the show, you may remember that Ash by Elegance was out during Heather Reckless's match with Giselle Shaw. The Iceman come in, George the Iceman, and then distracted the ref, allowing Ash to attack Giselle Shaw. Well, in this match, Heather Reckless runs out and cheap shots Xia Brookside, and Ash rolls Xia Brookside up for the win. Reckless and Ash pose together at the end. Are we now seeing the formation of a new allegiance in TNA, that being Ash by Elegance and Heather Reckless? What could that mean for the Knockouts division? Is the Knockouts Tag Team Championships in sight for Heather Reckless and Ash by Elegance? We will have to wait and see. Main event time on Impact Wrestling. This pits the Hardys against Myers and Edwards, four wily veterans before this. But before that match starts, Nick Nemeth was shown backstage, the heavyweight champion. He talks about Moose having a chance to handle things like a man, but opting to go for a different route. He did mock the system's reboots and talks about Moose tagging in his heroes like The Rock and Triple H, who points out that he shared the ring with and beat with in the past. And he wraps up. After he wraps up, obviously, we head back down to ringside. To hype up the tag team main event, we hit another commercial. But when it's back, Ash by Elegance is complaining about her hair to George the Iceman when Heather Reckless walks in. They both liked her helping Ash, but I agree that she needs a makeover. And Iceman offers to give her one if she wants some time. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. Anyway, back for the four wily veterans, two great teams, Hardys, the system, Myers and Edwards. Really, really good match. The fans were chanting happy birthday to Jeff Hardy during this match as well. Obviously, it's a bit late for us to do it. It was a couple of weeks ago. But the crowd loved it. They delete everything. You know, they were still doing it. and then the happy birthday chants when Jeff got tagged in. And the thing about this, and it is a typical kind of Matt and Jeff kind of match. One of them take the beat in the hot tag, the team in up together. It works, that's how it's always worked in this. And it's usually Jeff Hardy, and it was on this occasion that took a super kick from Myers as we led into like the final commercial break. I call it the mid-match commercial break on this. And when we return, Matt is then fighting from underneath to try and make a comeback. So obviously Jeff had made a tag in the commercial. Matt had come in, had a little ball of fire, but bang. He was making a comeback after that. But Alicia Edwards gets involved at ringside, and that leads to, again, the system getting back into it. What they were doing really well, which was an old school tag team thing, cutting the ring off in half, frequent tags to each other, keeping Matt away from Jeff. This is tag team wrestling 101. So if you were a tag team and you want to work a way that the legends work, or worked how it worked in the 80s, and bringing on a fresh new kind of look for the 2024, watch this match, because this shows you the art of cutting that ring in half and making it impossible for your opponent to make the tag at this point. But finally, he did do it. He hit a big net breaker and to crawl to the corner and make the tag to Jeff Hardy. Jeff then does every move you can imagine Jeff to do. He takes off the shirt. He does the twist of fate, the whisper in the wind. As he goes for the swanton bomb, though, it's broken up from interference from Brian Myers. Eddie Edwards tries to capitalize with a pin, but only gets a 2 count at that point. And then they try the overload on Jeff, but it is broken up by Matt, who hits a twist of fate off the ropes. He sends one to the floor, and then Hardy hits a twist of fate on Edwards, and Jeff hits the swanton bomb for the win, and we all go home happy before Victory Road. The Hardy Boys pick up the win. It was a classic Hardy Boys tag team match. The system are great as well. Great main event to lead us into Victory Road TNA Plus app tonight or tomorrow for me at 1 a.m. in the morning. But nevertheless, let's run through the matches and run through who we think is going to win these matches. Eric Young and Maclin versus Hammerstone and Something. I'm going with Hammerstone and Something from this. I think they both, Young and Maclin picked up a win as a tag team before. If they're going down the route for them for tag team championships, then perhaps they win it, which could be possible. But likewise, the same with Hammerstone and Jake Something. They're both not, these 4 guys are not in sort of like embedded into a feud of any sort. They're not going crazy in areas. They've not really got a lot going on. So for this tag team to pick up the win, one of these tag teams to pick up the win, it could move them in the direction of Bullet Club, ABC, or whoever else it may be on this. So I'm going for Hammerstone and Something, but I wouldn't rule out the win in the other way for Maclin and Eric Young either. Kushida and Kushida and Leon Slater, a match that I am tremendously looking forward to in this. And I cannot wait for this. This match could steal the show during Victory Road on the pre-show. I'm, of course, going for England's own Leon Slater. The future is so bright for that kid. He is absolutely incredible. And this match will be brilliant to watch. One of the matches I can't wait to look forward to watching on the TNA Plus app tonight. And it's on the pre-show, of course. Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff versus First Class, AJ and Casey Navarro. I can't look past the Hardys for me. They want the tag team championships. They want a shot at Bullet Club, ABC, whoever, or the system, whoever the tag team will be. I believe the Hardys will win this match. I think the Hardys against Bullet Club, ABC is potentially the direction that we're going in, Bound for Glory in just a couple of months' time. So for me, it is all about the Hardys. It will be a great match, but the Hardys will do for me on this one. PCO and Rhino versus DeLanda and Cardona. I am going for Cardona and DeLanda, and I've said it from day one. DeLanda will screw PCO out of this match, and she will stick with Cardona, and that has been the plan all along. Steph DeLanda, Matt Cardona will pick up the victory in this match, and she will screw PCO out of it. That is, and I've been saying that since day one. So there we go. It's going to happen at Victory Road, and she's going to walk out with Matt Cardona. X Division Championship match: Zachary Wentz, Mike Bailey. Zachary Wentz winning it at the Ultimate X at Emergency. An incredible match. This has all the makings of being again, rival match of the night. This one should be a fantastic match. Wentz and Bailey. I'm sticking with Wentz on this. I think it's too early to take the X Division title off him. I know that Mike Bailey had the title when he lost it as quick as he won it. I don't think they'll do that again. It's not normally in TNA's nature to do that every so often. So my view is it'll be a great match. The only thing I could see is potentially Wes Lee, maybe not costing him, but maybe wanting a shot at that title at Bound for Glory. So maybe he comes out maybe at the end, or maybe he does cost in the match. But I think Zachary Wentz retains over Mike Bailey in this one, and I'm very much looking forward to having that one tonight on Victory Road. The system, or the Militia, Slamovich and Eddie Edwards against Alicia Edwards against Spitfire, Luna and Fret. I think it's the end of Spitfire, and I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but I just think the Edwards and Slamovich, they've been trading the title back and forward for a while now, and I just think it's time to see Danny Luna on her own going for Jordan Grace or whoever the Women's Knockouts Championship is. And I think it's her time is now, and I could potentially, she could look at it as early as Bound for Glory. But for me, I think it's over for Spitfire in this match, and perhaps it will start a little feud between them two initially, because we've got a bit of time before we get to Bound for Glory. So for me, Slamovich and Edwards win this, and Spitfire have to split up, unfortunately, of course. ABC versus the System. ABC for me, I think the logical thing going into this is ABC and the Hardys at Bound for Glory. That will be that is a dream match. I know the Hardys are, they're older now, and you look at maybe 20 years ago having those Hardys against the ABC, and it would be an incredible match. It still will be a tremendous match. This match should be really good as well. They're no strangers to each other. The System winning the title back off Bullet Club at ABC. But for me, I think the tag team titles stay where they are on this occasion, and ABC retain, and they will go on to Bound for Glory to take on Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, in what will be a generational clash, in my opinion. And it'll be one that I'll be really looking forward to watching. Hendry and Alexander. For me, again, this is Joe Hendry written all over it. No disrespect to the walking weapon, but I think going into Bound for Glory, Joe Hendry is going to be after that championship, whether it be Moose or Nick Nemeth, he'll be going for. But Joe Hendry will 100% be in the title picture come Bound for Glory, and he'll pick up, in my opinion, a win over Josh Alexander. Like we said, there's time to go before Bound for Glory. They could fit in another couple of matches, even one where Josh wins. But Victory Road, for me, it is all about Joe Hendry, and I believe in him to go on to Bound for Glory and perhaps claim the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. We will wait and see. But Joe Hendry beats Josh Alexander tonight at Victory Road. Jordan Grace and Wendy Chu for the Knockouts Championship. It should be an interesting clash. This has been building on NXT. What's Rosemary's involvement? We've been told no shenanigans by Santina's daughter, Ariana Grace, on Impact this week. I think Jordan Grace wins it, but I do believe that Rosemary's waiting in the rings. I don't think Bound for Glory will be the time for Rosemary. I believe that will happen prior to Bound for Glory, and I reckon there will be a big signature match for Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory. I'm not sure who that will be against, but I do think that Jordan Grace will go on to Bound for Glory and face a big name from the WWE. That is my opinion. Jordan Grace walks out of Victory Road, the champion. Main event, Nick Nemeth Moose for the World Championship. I think, again, a bit too early to take it off Nemeth. He put on that clinic with Alexander at the 60-minute Iron Man match at Emergence. I don't want to keep changing the world titles either. It'd be better if it stays where it is for now and have Nick defend it, maybe against Joe Hendry, maybe in a multi-man at Bound for Glory. But for me, Nick Nemeth retains this match. It will be a good, without being this will be like a WWE style match, Moose and Nick Nemeth. There'll be a lot of work from Moose. Nick Nemeth will take a lot of punishment in this, will always come back. And he's only one danger zone away of picking up the victory. And that's my belief that he will hit the danger zone, pick up the victory, and he will go on to Bound for Glory, where perhaps he will then drop the title. But guys, Impact was great this week. Do not forget TNA Plus app tonight. Get Victory Road watched. We will be reviewing that first thing tomorrow morning. It will be out on you. If you want to watch our review, please do watch our review, by the way. It will be out Saturday morning sharp. Get ready to enjoy your weekend. Watch Victory Road for TNA, and then watch our review of Victory Road on TNA right here on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Please don't forget to follow us, subscribe at HTT Buckle on Twitter and YouTube, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on Instagram. Follow TNA, get the TNA Plus app, download that onto your phone, subscribe to it, watch TNA week in, week out. Watch Impact on DAZN, streaming Ayozat TV over here in the UK and AXS TV in America. But you have just been watching the TNA Impact review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast with me, Adam Cousins. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.